Now, as you come to rest on your back, before you bend up the knees, so legs straight, sloppy shavasana. If your chin is jutting back, slide a blanket or pillow under your head so that the back of the neck is not congested. That signifies, again, there is some tension, there's some postural things. So that just means right now support. And as you come to lay on your back, notice, where is your sacrum touching the floor? Is it touching it more down towards the tailbone? Or is it more centered on the sacrum? Or is it towards the top where the back is flattened? All of these gives us information about our hip flexors. If we are rolling towards the tailbone, hip flexors are probably tight. We may have some tightness in the low back. If we are rolling towards the top of the spine, we likely have a lot of tension in the low belly, also congesting everything up. Let's begin bending up the knees. So now we are putting the psoas on a slack. Place your hands on your lower abdomen. And that's your helper for as you breathe in and out. On the in-breath, the belly expands. That means the breathing diaphragm is engaging. So as you breathe in, the belly poofs out. As you breathe out, the belly relaxes down towards the spine. Notice the quality of the in-breath. And if you were resting more towards the top of the sacrum with some tightness in the belly, this may not be very easy. So just gently continue to invite the breath to draw down, the diaphragm to contract and flatten. And from here, we want to bring the awareness to the bottom of the basket. So as you breathe in, diaphragm moves down. The pelvic diaphragm will also move down ever so slightly. And as you breathe out, both diaphragms, the pelvis and the breathing diaphragm, moves up. So these two ideally travels mirroring one another. This also may be challenging to discern. If these muscles at the bottom of the basket are completely locked in, have lost tone, then it's going to take a little bit of time just to practice belly breathing with the pelvic floor awareness to begin to awaken these muscles. Now on the next out breath, as you feel the belly softening down towards the spine, draw the pelvic floor upward. And that is not the same as clenching your glutes. They stay completely relaxed. There's a sense of moving at the bottom of your basket upward. So that is the Mula Bandha in yoga. The sense is between the sits bones moving upward. I also sometimes say, imagine that your tailbone is retractable and you draw the tailbone up. That also begins to engage these muscles. So sensing this, and now we are just moving the diaphragm, the breathing diaphragm, but also engaging the muscles of the pelvic floor on the out breath. Again, an integral part of your core. Without these muscles engaging, the core will be weak inherently. And now let's begin to add movement to this. As you inhale, arch the low back. And exhale, flattening, maintaining the sense of Mula Bandha. Pelvic floor draws up, lower abdomen now draws in and up, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhaling, arch again, everything relaxes so we can receive the breath. And exhale, flattening, engaging both the pelvic floor drawing up and the lower abdomen. Volumes have been written about bandhas and how to engage, and it is subtle. And it takes sometimes a little time to create this awareness. Let's do it one more time. Arch, flatten, and this return to neutral. And we'll take the legs out long again. And on the next in-breath, let's take the arms up overhead. I can't think of a better day to practice Baxter's first vinyasa. It's all about fluidity. And that is the element of the pelvis. With the arms overhead, on the next exhalation, let's hug the right knee in, chin to chest. And we'll take the leg out to the side, to the right side as we inhale, head and left arm is down. Exhale, twist to the left. Give your knee to the left hand. And inhale back to center. Clasp the hands behind the right thigh. Press up through the heel. And exhale, hug the knee back in. And inhale, full body stretch. Left side, exhale, hugging chin to chest, knee in. Head down. We'll take the left knee to the left. Exhale across. Inhale back to center, extend up through the heel, and exhale, hugging in. Inhale, full body stretch. Right side again, moving at a pace that's comfortable for you. And we'll take the knee to the side, across, hamstring, and bookend it, hug in again, full body stretch. Left side, hugging in, opening to the side, and then twist. Back to neutral for the hamstring, press up, and exhale, chin to chest. And then one more time. Right leg leads, hugging in, so that opens the back seam. Half bound angle, and then we twist. Inhaling back to center, hamstring, and exhale, hugging in. Inhale, full body stretch. One more time on the left. Hugging in, to the side, across, back to center, pressing up, and hugging in, full body stretch. And then exhale, let's take the arms down alongside the hips and pause. Pausing here. Notice if your body is resting now a little different from when you first started. Has the location changed where your sacrum is resting on the floor? Well, I did say we were going to play with the glutes a little bit today. Let's bend up the elbows. Place the elbows firmly beside the waist, palms facing each other. Draw the right knee in and straighten the right leg to the sky. So the left leg stays long, and if the hamstrings are hindering you, just bend your right knee in towards the chest so it becomes more of a supine lunge. Your right elbow and your left glute are the star players here. As you inhale, press your right elbow into the floor and your left glute. Lift the right leg straight up. It's only about an inch, maybe half an inch, and then lower down. Don't let your right leg drift towards the center line. We're going to repeat this little event. As you inhale, press down through your left glute, right elbow, and lift straight up and lower down. Again, lifting. Keep your right leg straight up. It wants to drift towards the center. Don't let it. We're going to do 3 more times. I'll let you move with your breath. And I'm just having a peek at you, lifting straight up. If your left glute is not firing, this is challenging. So now we're gaining a little information. After the 3rd time, take the left leg up to the right. Leg straight up-ish, accommodating hamstrings. We're going to take the right leg down. And we repeat. Now your left elbow and right glute are star players. As you inhale, lift the leg straight up. As you press, right buttock and left elbow down. Repeating, inhale, lift and lowering. Moving with your breath. Let's do another 4 times, so a total of 6. Lifting when you inhale, lowering down when you exhale. Keep a close watch on your left leg that it goes straight up and straight down without wavering. If your glute are not happy to help out, what muscles are you trying to recruit instead? A lot of times that would be the jaw. Don't do that. All right, one more time. I think that gets us to 6. And we'll take the right leg up to meet the left. You may have been trying to use your quadricep. All they have to do is keep the knee straight, but they can't lift. All right, let's take, we need the strap for this one. My bad, take your strap. Now we're gonna play a little bit with the psoas. So take your strap and then place it right under the small of your back. So we'll start with the legs bent and the feet on the floor. With the strap under the small of the back, if you hold it on either side, it just slides from side to side. Nothing to see here. But to lock it down, so zip up and zip in and then press down so that the strap, if you give a little tuck, it's not going anywhere. Lock down. So now we have the abdominis rectus and the corset, abdominis transversus. Lifting the knees up again, lifting the knees up again. So here we are ready. Let your strap be locked down. Notice the closer you bring the knees to the chest, the easier it is to keep it down. The further away the knees are, the harder you have to work in the lower abdomen. This work is easy. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower your right heel towards the floor. Inhale back up. Exhale, lower the left heel towards the floor. Inhale back up. Let's do that one more time. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Now let's take both feet down. I want to do a little pit stop here just to circle back to where I started. Right now, strap is flowy. You can move it. Put one hand on your belly. Put one hand on the belly and then clamp down on the strap. Does your belly poof up or pull down? Your belly needs to pull down and the pelvic floor up. If the belly is poofing up, then you're also pressing down into the pelvic floor. Did it make sense how I said that? Pull the belly down, pelvic floor up. Let's lift the legs up again. So that we don't create pressure, a downward pressure into the pelvic floor. Let's continue. Exhale, foot down. And other side. You can keep one hand on the belly to make sure that you are both pulling it down, not poofing it up. Also, give your strap a little tug just to make sure that you are still locking it down. And remember, this is super easy. Then begin to take your legs out longer. Just check that your strap is still locked down, one leg at a time, one leg at a time. The little tattletale, does the strap stay down? And are you supporting this work with drawing the pelvic floor up? I'm running out of things to say, so I guess we are getting done here. Let's take the legs down. Move the strap out of the way. We'll take the arms up overhead. Feet hip width apart. As you inhale, press into the feet and lift the hips. Exhale, lowering down. What fired first, the hamstrings or the glutes? We're going to do it again. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lowering down. If your hamstrings fires first, your glutes may be a little lazy. So teach them to start. Press the heels down to lift up. That helps activate the glutes. Hamstring secondary. They both helps extend the hip. So when we are walking, that leg that goes behind us, that is a hip extension. The back bend, let's do it again. Teach the order of firing. Glutes, then hamstrings. Let's do it one more time. Lifting up and lowering down. And let's roll over onto the belly. Rolling over onto the belly. I take that back. We're going to come to the side. Sorry, you guys are fast. As you come to the side, I'm on my right side and I'm bending up my right leg. Left leg is on top. You can be on either side. Just bend up the bottom leg. Using your top hand just to provide you with the balance. So bottom leg, the floor leg is bent up, and I have it bent up pretty far, if you can see me. We're going to play a little bit with gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Now take your hand to your outer hip, and then lift your top leg up, and you're going to feel something is happening back there. Gluteus medius, the middle dude, main job is to stabilize the thigh bone in the socket. So as you move the leg up and down, is it firing? It also helps with side walking, side stability, half moon pose, but all balance poses, this muscle does the job. Now point the toes down towards the floor and lift up again. You got company of gluteus minimus. This is a little dude that's really good to activate when we walk up the stairs. It helps keep our pelvis stable. Now let's do circles. So circling all around, top legs circling, smooth, steady circles, slow. Now you are using all the glutes. Extension when the leg is back behind. Psoas when it's in front. Of course, that's not a glute, I know. All right, let's go in the other direction. Are your legs getting tired? Just pay attention. I'm not trying to punish you here. I am just trying you to observe, how are you activating? Do you have access to the glutes? All right, I think we are ready to come onto our back. So come to rest on the back just for a moment. And notice, if you are listening, can you tell you just worked one side, they released? We're going to do the other side. So come about. Bend up the floor leg. Keep the other leg out long. And just begin. You can take your hand again. You get your feedback from your hand. What is firing? What are you using just to lift and lower the leg? And what you're feeling on the outer hip here is gluteus medius. From thigh bone to the ilium, that big bony bowl on the back. Now let's turn the toes down. So point the toes down so that we get gluteus minimus into the game as well. And that little guy, he goes on vacation easy if we let him. Now that we have the 2 out of the 3, let's circle. Circling. So an easy way to strengthen the glutes. So go even circle, behind, forward, and then switch the direction. Switch the direction. You may find that this is your strong side. This may also be your weak side. And then let the leg come down. Now we are ready to come all the way over onto the belly. Onto the belly. Take the hands by the side chest. Let the forehead rest on the mat. Lift the right leg up and lower down. So we did that last week. We did single glute activators. Now we just want to make sure they're on the job. And flying serpent, roll the shoulders up and down the back. And then inhale, lift the legs first. Lift the legs. And then lift the heart, lift the head. Lift the heart, lift the head. And then exhale, lowering down. Let everything relax. That's worth repeating. So again, shoulders up and down the back. Draw the shoulder blades together. Commit. And then lift the legs. Lift the legs. So the glutes are helping the psoas release, lengthen back out. Let the legs come down and then lift up to cobra pose. Cobra pose. Draw the shoulder blades down, 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 down. Together. And then exhale. Stretch back to puppy pose. Puppy pose. Lengthen the back out. Stretch the hips back. So this helps stretch the glutes. And then inhale, coming through our modified plank into our tall cobra. And exhale back. And go back and forth several times. Inhale forward. Flip the tops of the feet as you come forward. And then reverse that as you draw back and tap. Again. And then last time, coming into our tall cobra. And we're going to lower down again for Sphinx pose. Because the psoas and the quads travel together, we can release one, but we really need to tend to the other. Let's swing the left arm in front, bend up the right leg, and reach back and catch the right ankle. You can use a strap. Draw your hips down towards the ground, And then invite the heel towards the tush. Now keep the knees side by side. So pull your right heel towards the tush, but keep the hips pressing down. And then slowly release. Don't ricochet. Let go. Before we switch to the other side, just notice the front of your hips. Are they feeling the same? Or does one lay a little flatter? That would be the one where we release the quads. Now let's swing the right arm in front. So we're lifting up into Sphinx pose. Bend your left leg up and reach back with the left hand. Catch the left ankle. And draw the heel towards the tush. So we're doing a prone dancer pose right now. So all poses can be practiced in any orientation. Well, almost, I should say. And then slowly release. Let's take the hands back under the shoulders. Roll the shoulders up and down the back. Again, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let's start with the flying legs. Take the legs up. Lift the heart, lift the head. We exhale the legs down. We come up through cobra. Is upward facing dog available? Straighten the elbows. Hips down to downward facing dog. Take your dog for a little walk. And then bend both knees. Pull the hips back and lift the sits bones. And then straighten the knees to the degree that your hamstrings allow. Keep drawing the quads onto the thigh bone to encourage the hamstrings to release. So the quads are engaging, quads pressing the thigh bone back. One more breath. And then look up and walk or step the feet to the hands towards the feet. Inhale, looking up, hands to the hips, and we press all the way up. A little bit more chatting about the pelvic floor. Our feet position matters because it relates directly to what is happening in our pelvis. Our sits bones the ischial tuberosities, also known among friends. So in your mind's eye, you can put your hands back there where they are, but they're a little tougher to get to in this position. Now your heels and your sits bones. Turn your feet out, and you just narrowed your sits bones. So if this is your default stance, to stand with your feet turned out, a lot of tension in the back of the pelvic floor. Let's do the opposite. Turn the heels in the opposite direction. You can feel how everything broadens in the back. So I'm exaggerating this stance, but we all have somewhere in between, but when we stand in mountain pose, Tadasana, now we have the optimal distance between our sits bones. Let's take the hands to the hips, step the feet wide, turn the back foot in. So let's turn the left foot in, right leg out, then I'm going in your direction. Left foot in, right leg, all the way up. So right now the right sits bone is moving towards center. The left, a little bit outward. Inhale, lengthen up. Take the arms with you. Triangle pose. Let's extend, reach out over. Take the hand to the shin, top arm up. Now lengthen your right sits bone away, away, away from the right foot. Lengthen back, lengthen back. Press your left heel down, stabilize your back leg. Press the right heel down. Now you get gluteus medius. Couldn't you just stand here all day? We'll do it one more breath. Inhale, push up, and then turn the heels in the other direction. Inhale, reach out over. Take the hand to the shin, top arm to the sky. And again, ground back heel, and you feel the connection to your pelvis. Ground the front. Breathe. And then inhale all the way up. Hands to the hips. Heel toe, we go all the way in. Now take your strap. So you don't need a strap, because everybody have a strap. And make a loop, all tangled here, that is about your leg length. So from the hip bone down to the ankle. From hip bone to ankle. You have the loop. You're going to step your left foot into the loop. Step it in so the loop catches around the back of the heel. The back of the heel. And we'll step the feet wide apart again. Wide apart. Like wide, at least a leg length. Thank you. Turn your strap foot, so your left foot turns in again, 10 to 15 degrees. Right leg turns out again, 90 degrees. So now you have an anchor in this pose. Take the left arm up, lengthen, up, up, up. Reach out over your right leg and take the hand down to wherever it lands. Now press your left heel into the strap. Press the left heel into the strap. And then draw your right sits bone back away from the right foot, but keep pressing down through the right heel. Right heel presses down. Can you feel how the strap supports you, drawing back, that you're not collapsing forward? They all said, yep. And my front arm, my right arm's not doing anything. It's just hanging out, right? I mean, you can just hang here. Yep, ish. As you inhale, press into the feet to come up. Let's do the other side. Catch the heel, turn your right foot in a wee bit. Left foot out. So again, you may have to give your strap a little cinch again. Get a good grip on it. Just a little loose until you start your journey. Take your left arm to the sky, reach out over the left leg. Let your back leg hold you. So now your right shoulder is drawing back. Right shoulder pulls back. So you're holding the strap behind your hip. Behind your hip. There's no weight on your left arm, none whatsoever. Support yourself from the back leg, ground firmly. So to try and get easier or harder this way? That's the question. We'll inhale all the way back up. Slip it out. And now I invite you to take your chair, or blocks will work as well. The chair just gives us a little bit more height for half moon. The blocks forces the pose down deeper. Chair on the mat. Let me see what we have. We're using blocks, so let me show both ways, blocks or chairs. I'll do it to one side and then the other side. If you're using a chair, so we're going to hook the back heel again. And the purpose of the strap is to keep awareness in our back leg. So just watch, and then I'm going to talk you through it. We often forget what we can't see in yoga, but because what happens in the legs happens in the pelvis, happens in the spine. So if you're using a chair, my stance is a little shorter here. I'll bend the knee, come to bring my hand on the chair, and then I'm doing exactly what we just did in triangle, but I have my strap loose. I can press into the strap, and that's where I get my leg activation. Using a block, I said it'll take the pose down a little deeper. Nothing wrong with that. If you like a challenge, holding the strap again. This time, I'm going to come through side angle so I can reach my block. And then I'm hop, hop, hop. Now I'm up, still with the strap, doing the same thing as we just did in triangle pose. These poses are exactly the same. All right, choose your weapon, blocks or chair. Stand in the middle of the mat, face alongside of the mat. Let's step the feet wide apart. And then we'll go to the right first. So loop your left heel. I saw that, John. Now she tells me. Turn the back foot in. So that'd be the left foot in, right leg out. Bend your right leg so you can reach towards block or chair. Keep a tight watch of the strap. Transfer the weight, hop, hop. And come into half moon pose. Half moon. So the block is to the outside of your standing leg. The chair, you'll have the hand slightly to the, again, outer edge. Now, really load up the back leg, firm. And then we're going to give the front leg a little extra workout. Bend your front leg just a little bit, and then straighten it again. Really ignite your gluteus medius. Bend it a little bit and then straighten, ignite. You can feel it firing up. Now hold it there for a breath, hold it for a breath. And then slowly land the back leg, the strap leg, up to center. You guys did awesome. Switch to the other side. Strap on the heel. Wide-ish stance. With a chair, it's easier if you're not too wide in the stance. Turning your strap foot in. Other leg out. Bend the knee, bend your front leg, and let your hand come to the blocks or the chair. And then get the back leg into flight mode. So your back leg, powerful Tadasana leg, powerful leg. Now, did your front foot do that little hopper inner? Looks like, maybe a little bit. Now bend and straighten the front leg. Remember, knee has to traction over the second toe. So if your front leg did that little hopper in, your knee is going to traction that way. Just tight hip flexors a little bit. We're going to do it one more time. And then hold the leg straight. Really ground in everything around your hips. So all the glutes are now on the job. Fantastic. Exhale, land it back, landing it back. You can get rid of the strap here. Let's take the legs a little bit wider. Little bit wider. Take the hands to the hips. Yes, indeed. Prasarita Padottanasana. So kick the heels out a little bit. Now we get the sits bones to go a little bit closer. But you don't want to have, wider. We take the sits bone wider is what I'm trying to say. But you don't want to be over pigeon-toed either. But this pose does help release tightness and tension in the pelvic floor. Let's pull the elbows towards one another. Bend the knees. So the fat horse, bend the knees. Inhale, lift up through the front spine. And then exhale, hinge forward. Hinging from the hips, hands to the floor. Knees are still bent. Knees are still bent. Walk the hands forward. So that prasarita, wide. So take your legs just about as wide as you can possibly go. Not a time to be bashful here. Keep the hips back over the heels. Keep the hips over the heels. Knees bent, but lift the sits bone up, 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 up. Walk the hands forward. Sits bones are lifting. Keep the hips back. Keep the hips back over the hips. Hips are back over the heels is what I'm trying to say. It's not coming out. Yes. So we're tractioning the spine. We're opening and releasing tension in the pelvic floor from all this work we did. One more breath. And then inhale, look up. Walk the hands back under the shoulders. And then heel toe, hands to the hips. Let's come all the way up. And we'll step the feet together. Now here's your little yoga snack. Anytime during the day. I cannot overstate the importance of doing that. Find a wall and go have your back towards the wall. I think you can see me here. So as you stand with your back against the wall, walk the feet out and slide down the wall or the door. Knees cannot travel past the ankles. Draw the pelvic floor up and the belly button towards the wall. Now the knees, you can either have your legs all the way together. You can also place a block between the thighs. So the feet, if the knees are together, the feet are together. If knees are together, the feet are together. Use your quads, use your glutes. I know you're thinking, how long should I stay here? You should come up before you go all the way down. That's not recommended. But ideally, you work up to staying here for 2.5, 3 minutes. Are you using your glutes? Are you using your thighs? Are you just using your jaw? Relax the jaw. You do one more breath. And take your elbows to the wall, and then inhale. You're going to slide up a little bit, but straighten the legs. So a wall bridge. Push the elbows into the wall. Elbows into the wall. Straighten the legs, straighten the legs, straighten the knees. And then we sit down again. So that got the hip flexors and the psoas. Engage the glutes. And we sit again. So here you can relax the arms. You're sitting in an imaginary chair, knees over the ankles, knees over the ankles. Hips no lower than the knees. No lower than the knees. And then breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Don't make it too hard. So this is a great desk break to take several times a day. It brings blood to the areas below. We get a little bit of juice. And it releases what is tight when we do the bridge pose from sitting down. But here we really get everything firing up. Let's put the elbows in as we slide up again. Wall bridge. Press in to the legs. Press, press, press. Straighten the knees, straighten the knees. Fire up the glutes. Let the whole body lengthen back up. And then exhale. Walk the feet back towards the wall and stand. Again, Tadasana. Which now gets us ready for our last pose. If you have a chair, I recommend you use it. If your chair has a back, then you'll turn it sideways for the legs. So Viparita Karni on with the chair, elevated legs. You can also take your legs up a wall. You can all place them on blocks. But what the benefit we get from using a chair for this pose is that tight psoas gets to release here. So I'm laying on a blanket. I put a blanket in the chair. And a couple of things to look for in this pose. And this is a powerful pose. You want the back of the knees as best as you can to rest on the edge of the chair. And if you have shorter thighs, you may need a blanket under the sacrum to elevate you up. So I'm looking at you. Dennis, you may need to elevate up the hips. And John, you're going the royal way. I like your ingenuity, Wilt. There. Wilt, okay, you're up on blocks. How does that feel? I think it's okay. As long as you have the sacrum supported, you're in a bit of a back bend. There, is that better? So now removing eyeglasses if you're wearing any. So now the whole body, we've done the practice. You now get to release. Janice, did it feel better when you got the hips elevated? Thank you. When we take the legs up in this fashion, there is no pull. So let the pelvic floor relax. Let the head of the femurs, the head of the thigh bones relax into the socket. Gravity is reversed, so that downward force that our pelvis experiences almost all day long, whether sitting or standing, is also now released. So for any issues, bladder or girl, female things, I'll put it delicately, this is a really, really good pose to practice. Sometimes in yoga, it's not so much what we do, it is what we don't do that becomes what heals. Let the breath soften to a quiet whisper. As the gentle waves lapping up onto the shore of your country. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. Eventually roll all the way over onto your right or left side. Pause as you come to a rest on your side. Pause. And then use your arms and hands to press up into a comfortable seated posture. Let's bring our palms together. Closing with the mantra for peace. Om Shanti, 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 Om. calling for peace in our world, in our lives, and within ourselves. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Exhale and bow your head towards your heart, towards your true essence, that which never changes. Let that be your true guide and teacher. Let's inhale, draw the gaze back up. Namaste. Thank you.